stretch over the first corner. Track again.
Nothing on the table. Nice into 15. Oh, and very late.
Skeleton and finish. Good morning and welcome to Lillehammer in Norway, the venue for the 1994 Winter Olympic Games, and for the third season we return with the IBSF Bobsleigh and Skeleton World Cup. And after a glamorous opening ceremony yesterday evening, the track, which in training has been in record fast pace, is looking perfectly set for the first of our races this weekend. We get underway with men's skeleton. I'm Martin Haven, alongside me, US coach Tuffy Latour. Tuffy, this is a track that's only recently come back onto the World Cup, but it's still got plenty to entertain our drivers.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great track. It's a short track, around 50 seconds. What we should see today is some great starts out of the top finishers. Key areas to look for as we head down the track here. We're going through 3 into turn 4. These are very important corners to set you up because it gets very flat through 5 into 6. 6 is a very flat area, and you want to be able to carry that speed down through the labyrinths. Those labyrinths take you down into some key corners, one of those being the exit of turn 13. We can see here this entrance to 12. So these transition 12 to 13, carrying that speed all the way down through the bottom and being clean here down into 14. And as we get down into 15, just trying to be as smooth as possible all the way down through the finish line.
So Felix Seibel with the track record. He was the bronze medalist 2 years ago in an all-German podium led by Christopher Groothair, with Axel Jung taking the silver. Last year, surprise winner Lin Chen-wei of China ahead of Samuel Maier. Marcus Wyatt was right behind him. Matt Weston, already a winner this season in the season opener in Cortina. There was no skeleton race a couple of weeks ago in Innsbruck, so this is actually the second World Cup. And we're going to make up for that with a really busy weekend in Sigulda next week, where we'll have double skeleton races for men and women and the teams competition as well. So this is a track that has been a sort of second home for a lot of teams. They ice it early in the season, Tuffy, so lots of the European teams and China particularly come here pre-season. So it's quite a well-known track. Yeah,
especially for like the British team, the Swiss, from the European side, but the Chinese have made great use of this facility. It's open early, so a lot of teams can get here, get on the ice, and just prepare for that season, getting those crucial early season runs.
Good draws for Axel Jung, Austin Florian nice and early, Chen Wen Hao as well, he might be fun, and Rasmus Johansson, top 8 finish last year. 33 sleds in the field. Last year it was the final skeleton race before the World Championships. We had a 37 strong field. But of our 33 today, only the fastest 25 go through to the second heat. So if you're in the top 20 in the draw, you're feeling a little more comfortable than if you're further on down. And I guess that puts a lot of pressure on the athletes who are outside the top 25.
Absolutely.
Race 2 of the IBSF Skeleton Men's World Cup. Axel Jung of Germany gets us underway. His 81st World Cup start. The Olympic silver medalist and World Championship silver medalist. Let's see what he's got.
Oh, that's a solid start. That 4.74 should set him up nicely here.
Well, these first couple of corners very flat, barely anything to them.
And we'll see right here as he heads down through into 6.
Yes.
And it's hard to tell right now where he is, but we'll see that top end speed. See down at the bottom of the track here, a little skid as he got into 10.
Real high sheen on the track. They're not afraid of using water here to make the track fast.
That's a decent exit right there, down into 15, 14, 15.
127 kilometers now down at the bottom of the track. They're still motoring fast, even though it's a fairly short track.
And at 51.28, he's only 24 hundredths off of the track record. So like we've seen the last 2 weeks, it's been track record speeds here in Lillehammer as they prepare for the 2027 World Championships.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun 2 weeks.
Great exit right there. He's got a slight skid, but he held it well. all the way down into 14. Good form. Axel's a top 6 slider most weeks. One of the great Germans out of their program.
Chen Wenhao looked pretty happy with himself over the last couple of days of training. 8th equal last, 6th rather, last year. He tied for 8th in Cortina, the season opener. 29th World Cup start.
And we'll see right here at the start as he prepares. Nice load onto the sled. And a 75. So right there with Axel. Take a look as he goes down in. He looks really nice right now, nice and smooth, but he's losing time, 600s already.
Well, some of that is it's a fractionally slower start and maybe a little less velocity in the sled, so that's not undoing itself, so he's being outdriven by Jung.
Yeah, he might just be driving just a little bit too much on the track. He's about a half kilometer down right there. Let's see what he does here. A little bit of a skid as he came off late off the 13. 1700s down and not the same speed as Axel.
Right, so second at the line, 51.51. Track record 51.04. Start record 4.60. We've already seen Jung go off in a 4.74. And I think we might see that start record under pressure in the first heat even.
Yeah, well, we'll see right here with Austin. Austin's had some great starts all season long. We've only had one World Cup, but his starts in Park City as we prepared for the season. That's a good load right there.
There was a little misstep there. His
bit.
right foot skidded away from him. I thought as he was loading, he was sort of, throwing himself a little more sideways onto the sled. Because, of course, sprinting downhill bent double is so easy, right?
So easy.
Well, Austin Florian is one of those who makes it look easy. You know, how much is nature and how much is nurture? You can train yourself, but...
Yeah, we've got that indoor ice facility in Lake Placid, so he gets plenty of practice on ice.
All right, let's see where we are at the start. 65 500ths off the start record.
Much better than he started last season. It's about 1300s faster. Let's see if he can hold that all the way down into 6 and carry that speed. Nice, 1400s. So through here, he's just got to build that speed. It's good entrance into 7. He's already starting to bleed some of that time away, and only the 3rd fastest and late in the 10.
Hasn't been a great track for him. He was 19th last year, 15th the year before.
And he's down in speed here as well. Late exit, 13. But still only 1300s down, but not that top end speed that we saw out of Axel. 3900s.
And you can see, even though you're maybe not seeing all of the mistakes that the slider makes, you can see as the body's moving around on the sled, the more you can see the athlete moving, the more they're adjusting the sled. And what do we say? It's not the driver that drives the most.
It's the driver that drives the least.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's a driver that drives in the correct part of the corners and enters and exits those corners smoothly and without side-to-side forces skidding the sled or just, you know, building that pressure and just not really accelerating through the corners. So.
Still a little better next run. Everybody home. Hey, Pussycats.
All right, this was Rasmus had a great finish down in Cortina.
Yep.
This season opener.
19th World Cup start for Rasmus Johansson. 10th here last year, 7th in Cortina. Now, he is coached by the Germans, but the Danes fund themselves. They raise their own money. So it's not that they are German athletes with a different flag. Junior silver medalist here in the 2024 World Champs.
And that's a very competitive start from Rasmus. And we'll see here, he's in the lead, and we're comparing him to Axel. So he's 200s up on Axel right now. And it looks like a very nice 6. A little early in the 7. You can see Gets late into 8. But right there, so he's even with Axel to this point. Now he's ahead.
That 6-7 transition is such a difficult one, and the other one is kind of 10, 11, 12 sequence.
Yeah.
Comes out okay.
And you can see that mistake he made at the exit of 13 cost him that 300s, and he should be around 700s, 19.
Ooh.
Oh, lost quite a bit of speed at the bottom.
Yeah. So maybe a little more.
But
going
still,
on
that's a solid run by him.
Yeah. And he and his sister Nana both sliding here for Denmark. And he's always got this huge grin on his face. Living his best life.
Yeah, I can see right here he's a little bit early off of 6. He gets that little bump in the 7. That's a critical area going down through the labyrinth. And it just sets you up late, and later. And you can see here on 10, he's coming off late. Skids down into 11.
And sometimes those skids don't show on the next clock, but 200 meters further down, that's where you're paying for it.
Yeah, you're just bleeding the speed all the way down the track.
Jung Seung-gi was 5th, having started whatever it was, 34th, and last in Cortina. Drove himself into 12th in the first heat, from 12th to 5th in the second heat. He is back, isn't he?
73.
Yeah.
Good start.
Good start and a really nice drive in Cortina in both heats.
Well, they're coached by Jeff Payne, and they've got good equipment, good coaching.
Still in the green and holding on to 600's advantage.
Yeah. He's building that speed. Nice exit of 10. Down about 0.3 of a kilometer to the Germans. Decent exit there. 500. It's going to be close at the finish here. He's about a kilometer off right there.
There's quite a long run down to the line. Just in front, 51.25. So 2100s away. Quick look at Jeff Payne there. Again, that was a pretty clean run.
Yeah, the Koreans have a good coaching staff. Jeff Payne and Koshi as well, coaching the Korean team.
Well, Jung was 9th here in the first World Cup 2 years ago, 23rd last year. He struggled with injury at the end of the season.
Yeah, see this exit here. Puts a little toe down to straighten it out, but it continues to build that speed, keeps that form.
Let's go!
He is fired up for this year for certain. He could be a real medal contender. So from Korea to China with Yin Sheng. Bronze medalist in Cortina. 5th here last year. He's been 4th and 5th in the 2 World Cup outings here. And as you said at the top of the show, the Chinese, like the Brits, like the Swiss, have long used Lillehammer as a pre-season training venue.
We should see a good start here. .470.
We're getting closer, a 10th away from the start record. That wasn't bitterly cold overnight. It was a little sub-zero. You might see in the second heat the start area just a little warmer and a little faster.
Yeah, it's definitely warm for Lillehammer standards. And really nice entrance down through the labyrinth. Really nice in the 10.
Hasn't got the best speed.
But he's there. He's about 0.2 off on the speed. He's back in the green again. Really nice exit at 13. So those numerous trips he's had down Lillehammer are really paying off for him right now.
Super
a
smooth.
little late in the finish.
Yeah. And a tide for the lead. Excellent. So Dirk Matchens, the head coach of the Chinese team, also their sled builder. It's a little bit like Willi Schneider for Italy. It's kind of all in one. He knows what the athletes want and can tailor the sleds to what their body needs. And it's
Absolutely.
a very individual thing, isn't it?
Absolutely. It took the Chinese athletes a couple months to get used to the equipment, but Dirk has it dialed in now as we prepare for, you know, February 2026 in Cortina.
Yeah. So Yin Cheng tied for the lead at the moment with Jung Seung-gi, Axel Jung in third. 6 of our 33 sliders down. And next up, our reigning European champion and the man who took the silver medal here last year. 1200s behind Lin Chen Wei. And actually the battle for silver was 3 sleds covered by 300ths of a second. So it was a really tight tussle.
Let's see what Sammy can do here. He was second last year here in Lillehammer, 83. So yeah, he's a lot faster at the start than he was last season.
Still only 25, so he actually started in the World Cup really quite young.
And what you'll notice about the Austrian sliders is their form. Sammy Maier's form is second to none. He's an outstanding slider. He's been doing it for, you know, a few years now, and we'll see what he can do here at the bottom of the track. See if he's going to build up that speed.
He's got the top speed. Still 1300s back. We've
see what he does here. Beautiful.
We've seen sliders lose more. Can you gain that much?
Wow.
Tied, 3-way tie for the lead. That's fantastic.
And 3 in a row.
All right. Yeah, Sammy's just a little behind, maybe a 10th behind the fastest starters. But he can really drive. And the form you're talking about, that's trying to be as aerodynamically efficient as possible. And you have to do that in Innsbruck, or you just have no speed anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good load onto his sled. And like I said, he's already put a faster start down, so put himself in a better position.
Yeah, worked really hard over the summer
really
on
nice
the
transition, 12 to 13.
Hey.
Yeah. Oops. Get it on the right way round. Okay, next up is our reigning world champion. His 40th World Cup start, Matt Weston.
And we'll see what he can do here.
Winner in Cortina, so still wearing the yellow jersey of the World Cup leader. He was last year's World Cup champion as well. Start record 4.60. How close will he be? Oh, now he's been struggling for fitness after a couple of injuries quite soon before the season started, but that doesn't look like he's struggling quite as much as he was in Cortina.
Man, that start looked effortless.
Yeah.
Really nice in the 6. A tad early on the 7, but he's still right there.
Just losing a little bit of speed to Sammy Maier.
900s. Let's see what this transition is. That. A little skid, a little tap, but he's building the speed. Doesn't show right there. 3rd fastest speed, but yeah, 1100s.
Wow. All right. Well, historically, this hasn't been a great track for him, actually. He was 8th over the last couple of races here over 2 seasons, and they were his worst World Cup results in those 2 seasons.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some tracks that just don't click with you right away, but you can tell he's been putting in the work here.
No, I have 59.
It doesn't hurt having Martin Stukers and Matthias Guggenberger as your coaches.
Yeah, their sled program has really come on in leaps and bounds, and having that knowledge of being able to drive the way Dukos did.
Really nice down through here. And again, you look at the form of the top guys, and they don't move at all.
Yeah.
I love this track. It's very nice. Everyone back at home. Love you all.
He loves it now. All right. So our 9th starter, Chu Haifeng of China. His 10th World Cup, the 27-year-old, was a Europa Cup race winner here. Last year was his only World Cup start on this track, and he was tied for 19th with Austin Florian of the USA.
We'll see right here.
Yeah. Again, could well be a big starter here. 4.65, Matt Weston is the fastest current start.
73.
Yep, right in among the top 6 starters. 4th best, just 800s back on Weston.
again, you look at the form of the Chinese sliders. They just hold that form well all the way down the track. It's a good entrance in the 7. It's 20, ooh, late right there, and late down in the 10. And just starting to bleed that speed. So just showing some inexperience here on the Lillehammer track. 4,300s down now. It just didn't carry that speed all the way up through the labyrinth. 51.63.
Now, when you set your sled up for the race the night before, you're sort of guesstimating what the track is going to feel like on race day. And it's sort of hard, I think, to understand that ice isn't just ice. Ice is very different sometimes. Harder, faster, more polished.
Yeah, and it depends on, the big thing is setting up your runners, what rock you want to run, how hard the ice is going to be, the humidity in the air. So there's a lot of factors, and we've seen all of that happening here in Lillehammer. We got a pretty foggy morning, so the humidity is pretty high.
I was just looking at him. He had his kind of feet knee width apart quite a lot, which is a lot of kind of trying to correct the yaw in the sled.
Yep.
Now, Lucas Neidegger, this could be very interesting. 4th place, only just off the podium in Cortina, his World Cup best. He's the reigning junior world champion. In fact, the 24 junior world champion on this track. 491, not the fastest starter, but this kid can definitely drive a sled. However, unfortunately, 2 looked a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, in this day and age, it's hard to have a deficit at the start and be competitive with these top guys, especially on a track that's only 51 seconds long. But he's holding his own right now. He's still in 10th place, about a half-second back, but we'll see what he can do towards the bottom here. 6th fastest speed. So he's holding that half-second deficit. Decent transition. That was nice out of 13. Maybe drove a little bit hard.
5th best speed, so he's finding something at the bottom. This is classic German sliding, isn't it? Not so quick at the start, faster at the bottom. 51.67.
And we find another. He's tied with Austin Florian on that run.
So 11th here last year in his only World Cup.
Yeah, we've got a clump of sliders in those 51.20s, and then there's the 51.40s, and then the group in the 51.60s. So yeah, one thing Lucas needs to work on as he heads towards the games is his start. And yeah, good entrance onto the sled.
Well, I think now for him, if he qualifies for the Olympics, that will be the experience games, won't it? And in 4 years' time in the French Alps, that's when he's got to hit for. Matt Weston-Lees from Samuel Maier and Yin Cheng of China. 10 down, lots more to go. Race 2, IBSF Men's Skeleton World Cup. We're in Lillehammer in Norway. The first 10 sleds already down in Heat 1. And making his first World Cup start of the season, Lucas Defaye of France, the man from La Plagne. Lillehammer last year was his last World Cup. He didn't race in Cortina. That was Bruno Mijanson, Maxime.
Lucas had a little bit of a stumble getting onto the sled at the start. We'll see what he can do here.
2 World Cup races here, 37th 2 years ago and 15th last year.
Not bad in 6, decent entrance in the 7. He's about there with Lucas right now, about a half-second back. But he's losing more time, and he doesn't have the speed that the Germans had. Making that correction out of 13, about a couple kilometers down. So 52.01.
Yeah, even skidding across the line. Not a tidy run at all. Oh, Lucas Defaye. Right now, he's in 11th place behind Lucas Neidegger and Austin Florian. And Austin Florian was tied for 19th last year, just made the cut. So we'll assume that he will again. Oh, yeah, little stumble there right at the last step. And it's such a short run. If you feel yourself sort of meandering away from the sled in the last couple of steps, there's not much you can do to correct it.
Yeah, and you can see that skid there all the way down into 14.
Yeah. Nice new helmet, though, by the way.
You gotta love the skeleton helmets.
Yeah, yeah. Not everybody gets all the artwork going. Kim Ji-soo of Korea, 31 years of age, 14th in Cortina. He's had 2 World Cup starts here, 21st in both, so missed the cut by a whisker in both years. Let's see if he's got a little more this time out.
Let's see here at the start. 68, so he's got a competitive start.
Like so many tracks, if you get corners 1, 2, and 3 wrong here, you're on so much on the back foot that it takes forever to try and make it up.
Oh, he's right there in the mix.
Yep. Second place, the 3-way tie for second, is 11/100ths off the lead. At the moment, he's hovering around the top 6.
Yeah, he's just missing some entrances and exits, especially down through the labyrinth. A little bit of a rough transition into 13. And you can see he's skidding down into 14. And he's just bleeding that speed all the way down the run.
So all the toe drags, has he set the sled up with too small a contact patch, just too aggressive?
Yeah, and just maybe it's not flowing with his driving style as well. So,
11th place for Kim, ahead of Lucas Defaye by 2/10. So Defaye might have a long, nervous wait. When Luca go off 11th, he might have to wait another 22 sleds until he's sure whether or not he's getting a second heat.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see that transition there down into 13. Just a little rough, a lot of side-to-side movement.
Lots of toe work, lots of tap dancing all the way down.
Yeah, I can see here he's going to go over towards the wall and he starts tapping his toe. And
not his best run. Now then, here's a young man who looks like he might have plenty of potential. Emils Indriksons didn't make the cut in Cortina on his World Cup debut. Raced here in the Youth Olympic qualifiers, raced here twice in Europe Cup as well, so he's got decent knowledge of the track.
yeah, we'll see the start here, 75.
Yeah.
So for a young kid, a 475 is great.
19, and you know, that gives you plenty of time for your body to change. What age was Martin Dukas when he retired? 36, 37?
Yeah.
Yeah. Could have a long history in this sport, and all 4 Latvian sliders, 2 young men, 2 young women, both in their all in their teams.
Yeah, which is a great foundation for the future, for the 2030, 2034 Olympics.
Yeah.
He's remaining competitive all the way down through.
9th at the start, top 10 speed.
Decent exit of 13. So yeah, he's hovering right around that 10th or 11th position.
At the moment, ahead of Kim Ji-soo of Korea, and just behind Kim by 1/100th of a second. That was a pretty decent looking run as well.
Yeah, he's got a future ahead of him, especially with that start. You can tell he's still you know, a young kid at 19 years old. He's got a lot of...
And look at the height of him.
Yes.
You know, he's 6'3", and he's probably hasn't even stopped growing yet, never mind starting to get strength. So
Aerodynamically, it's perfect for skeleton.
Yeah.
Nice, tall, lean.
Long and lean. Fish are that shape for a good reason.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So is mine again?
So lots of ambitious young Latvians and ambitious, not quite so young Italians. This is 32-year-old Mattia Gaspari from Cortina. Finished 17th in his home race 3 weeks ago now. 12th here last year. 5th in a teams competition as well. So the Italians have actually got a sporadically entertaining teams history. There's their coach, Willi Schneider. Now let's see if either of them are smiling at the end of this run.
Let's see what his start is. 90. Yeah, Matty is he's a fantastic slider down the hill. He's got great form. He very rarely breaks form, but one of the better sliders you'll see on tour. And we'll see here if he can pick up that time. Really nice entrance in the 7. Nice 8, nice 9.
Ninth, yeah, 9th best speed from the 13th start.
Yeah, it's 4th best speed now. So he's doing what we always see him do, is just slide fast at the bottom of the hill, 2nd fastest speeds. But when you have that deficit at the start, it's hard to make it up down towards the bottom. 51.63. That's a solid run right there by him.
That's a really good run. That's a really good drive. I was talking to him a couple of days ago in training, saying about Alessia Kripper, who blew out a bunch of tendons. She's had surgery in Finland and so on, but will absolutely miss the games. And he said, I know what that feels like.
Yeah.
Because it was in the run into Pyeongchang that he tore his Achilles.
Yeah.
And his starts haven't been the same since.
No, they haven't been. But again, it's a short track here. It's 51 seconds. So any time you lose at the start, it's just gonna come back to get you at the bottom of the run.
Yeah, well, it was a good drive. It was a really good drive.
All right, let's see what Vlad can do here.
And we talked about Emils and changing his body shape. When we first met Vlad, like a decade ago now, he was this really big powerlifter kid, and he is now, he's not quite Matt Antoine, but he is a long, lean athlete.
Absolutely.
He has absolutely transformed his body shape over the last 5-6 years.
Yeah. As the sport's transformed, he's transformed himself, and a 4.86 start. Probably not what he's looking for, but we'll see what he can do on the track here.
Again, you talked about that form, the aerodynamic form, arms clamped to your side, heels together, shoulders pinned down to the sled. All of his training was in Sigulda. You just maintain your form there no matter what the hits are.
And you can see he had that slower start, so he's hovering around 5-6 tenths behind. Decent transition there in the 13.
And the tracks he tends to do best at are places like Sigulda and Lake Placid and Altenburg, the real driving tracks rather than gliding tracks.
Yeah, and he grew up on Sigulda, so it's just a good track for him. 51.87.
Well, he got 9th best speed down at the bottom off the 12th start, but drifted away a little. So he's ahead of Lucas Defaye, but he's hanging out at the tail of the field at the moment, 14th of our 15 sleds. So there might be a little bit of work for him still to do. Looks a little bit disappointed with that.
Yeah, it's tough when you're, used to finishing up in the top, and in this, again, it's just a short track for him, and having that start deficit is not going to be good for that bottom speed.
A little bump out of the groove there as well in that right-hand groove. So many of the athletes use this left-hand groove as they look at it on the right of the screen.
Yeah.
This is Great Britain's Marcus Wyatt, bronze medalist here last year. This year, but last season, if you like.
We'll see what Marcus can do here. 67, so solid start.
Slightly patchy form here. 2 World Cup races. Last year 3rd, the year before 31st.
He's in 3rd right now. He's looking good. Good form, only 500s back. Really nice smooth 6. Yeah, he's just bleeding a little bit of speed, so falling back slowly. 1200s back. A little late in the 12.
Yeah, speed really disappearing. Only the 10th fastest.
Yeah, he's 23, 11th fastest now.
So 3rd best start. He's going to struggle to be in the top 10 at this rate.
I'm going to say it's a runner choice at that point. 51.48.
Yeah, Matthias Kuchenberger having a little think about that. And I often use a kind of simile like tennis rackets. Yeah, you and I pick up a tennis racket, it's a tennis racket, you hit the ball. If you're a professional, you have it strung so it feels perfect for the way you play. And that's what the athletes are doing with their sleds. Every one of them will be custom adjusted to their body, and they'll choose the runner that they think will work best for how they drive, irrespective of what anybody else has chosen.
Absolutely. And the other thing is the rock on the runner. So maybe it chose a little bit more conservative rock today, and thinking the ice was going to be a little bit harder, and it's not there. So he is a little bit behind, a couple tenths behind, but on that second one, we'll see.
The cage tiger that is Felix Kaisinger of Germany on the block. Kaisi, another one of the fast starters in the field.
Yeah, he should be in the 60s, I would imagine, high 70s.
And because it's a short track, his start speed has helped. He's had a 5th and a 6th here over the last 2 World Cups.
67.
Yep, so same as Marcus Wyatt. 3rd fastest start.
And we'll see here as he settles on the sled. So far, it looks very nice. Only 500s down. A little early in the 7. And not the speed that he's looking for.
And again, you're not seeing a lot of body movement, a lot of toe steers, and so you're looking at the speed dropping away and think, okay, it's the runners that he's chosen or how he's set them up.
Yeah, and overdriving just a little bit, trying to get that perfect line. Yeah, it's right there, 8th place, 51.49.
So same start time as Marcus Wyatt, 1/100th behind him at the bottom of the track there, 7th and 8th.
It's insane.
Yeah. Not quite as bizarre as 3 sleds in a row, all setting an identical time, but again, it shows, like with all elite sport, how close this is.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you look at their sleds, like the Germans have their own sleds, the Brits have their own sleds, the Americans have their own sleds. There's quite a few nations using the Schneider sleds from Willie Schneider, but it's amazing. A lot of different runners, different sleds, and all be tied at the bottom of the track. It's
And utterly different body shapes.
yes, and body shapes.
Height, weight, you know, narrow shoulders, broad shoulders. Just there is no cookie cutter. Yeah, that you'll be perfect.
Yeah.
Even if there was, you could get the perfect body shape who's got no clue how to feel the ice, and you're totally lost. Our Olympic champion, Christopher Groother, the 3-time world champion, will go to Cortina to defend his Olympic gold.
Yeah, Chris is one of the best, 478, so he's got a respectable start.
He's still struggling with a calf strain, so like Matt Weston at the beginning of the season, coming in sort of limping a little, not limping literally, but physically not 100% at the start.
Yeah, when you're not 100%, it shows in your sliding as well, because you're not comfortable on that sled. You can't really melt in and relax on the sled. And you can see right here, he's 15th fastest speeds. So just not what he's looking for on this track, 4/10ths back.
Wow. This must be the least Groother slide I've seen from Christopher Groother in a very long time. He's really working hard.
Yeah, and you can see that with the speed, it's just bleeding away.
Lowest speed of anyone.
Yeah, not the run he's looking for. But again, like you said, with a calf injury, you're just uncomfortable on the sled. Things might not feel as perfect as you want them, and so you might be pressing and trying a little bit harder.
Now, the other thing that's happening, and I'm not sure whether it's the case or not, is that there's a big cold going around, which is laying people low.
Yeah.
So he might also be feeling pretty ropey. Whether or not he's got it, I don't know. But there was a lot of steering going on. That's a very un-Groother kind of a drive.
Yeah, and breaking his form and picking his head up there, it's unlike Christopher.
I was talking to Axel Junk in training, and I said, what's the pressure like here? And he said, well, you can't hold your head up for a start. Christopher Groother did. Now then, Jacob Salisbury for Great Britain. Only his 11th World Cup start, the 30-year-old. 10th here 2 years ago. Didn't race here last year. But Lillehammer and Sigulda are his best historic tracks. And, of course, both of them have been British training camps over the years.
Yeah, absolutely. 468, that's a great start.
Hard to argue with that.
We'll see as he carries.
Fifth best start, up to fourth on the splits, and that's that start velocity helping him.
Yeah. And this looks nice down through here. That's a good entrance into 7, setting up nice for the labyrinth.
Speeds are not great.
And a little late in the 10. So he's going to bleed a little bit more speed. You can see right there the speed loss. If you don't carry that speed down to the labyrinth, it's really hard to make that up at the bottom of the track.
Lowest speed of everybody. Is he going to tie? No, he's not. 16th place, 51.86 behind Emils Indriksons of Latvia. But he is ahead of Vladislav Heraskevich and Christopher Groothair. And normally that would, if you're ahead of Groothair by 2 spots, normally that means you're going to get a medal out of this.
Exactly.
That's a bizarre run for Christopher Groothair. Yeah, doesn't look overjoyed with that.
Yeah, he was pressing a little bit too hard in some of those corners, and you can see that skid as he goes down into 13. And you get that skid, you're just going to be losing speed. You can see right there, nose pointed into the corner. And
I wonder if, like Marcus Wyatt, he sort of had set his runners up with too much of a bow and a little bit too small a contact patch.
Yeah, it could be that.
Seem to be skidding around a lot. Lin Chen Wei of China, last year's gold medalist on this track. And as you can see, just 26 years old. Raced here twice in Europe Cup as well, so he's got decent history here. It's his 10th World Cup start of his career. Whoa! All right. Well, last year was his rookie season in the World Cup. He ended up with a gold medal in his final World Cup race of last year, which was here, before going to the World Championships. And now, kicking it off with a start record.
And he looks nice so far. Good form on the sled. He's losing a little bit of speed. And maybe the track is starting to fall away a little bit. He's 100th down. And again, 15th fastest speed, so just not there.
You can see that the high gloss of the track has turned into more of a matte finish, so it might be just on this frosty morning, or this damp morning, it's starting to frost up a little bit. 2400s back, top 6 run. All right, well, the start record.
Well, when you're 20th off
already.
and you're right there in the mix, that's all you can hope for.
Yep. Yeah, he definitely is right there in the mix, isn't he? And he'll go, if he's in the top 6 or 8 at the end of this run, he'll go on much more similar track conditions to the leaders in the second heat.
Yeah, it's a good load onto the sled, and he accelerated down into that first corner.
Every coach says, give me a starter and I'll turn them into a slider. He's a starter. Matt Weston leads from Samuel Maier, Yin Cheng and Jing Xiangui, with 300s behind them, Axel Jung, and then last year's winner, Lin. So 20 sleds down, 13 to go here in Lillehammer. Next up, our debutante in Cortina, Valentino Buff, the 19-year-old from Switzerland. He's already raced successfully here once this season because the Swiss selection, first weekend of Swiss selection was here.
Yeah, he's got a lot of work to do on his start. I mean, he's 19 years old, so he's got time.
Just 19.
Yeah.
He's the 3rd sliding Buff that we've seen, and there are 2 more at home.
Oh, wow.
I know. His youngest brother is 15, is going to be running in St. Moritz.
That's great. Yeah, these guys have great form. They've got great skeleton bodies. They're taller, they're leaner.
They live in St. Moritz, so I was saying, how did you get into it? Their dad slides Cresta. Okay, so they used to go and do the kids' day every year on the Cresta run, and then migrated to the track next door, which is the Bob track. 52.78. All right, so where was he in Cortina? 32nd in Cortina in his World Cup debut. 21st at the moment, so will not get a second heat. And we're now starting to look at the bottom of the pile, and that's Luca Dufayet. So it's one and done again for Valentino Buff.
We're actually 25-1 though, right?
Oh, we are 25-1. Yes,
Yeah.
you're right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So those spots will start filling up here pretty soon as we see some pretty decent sliders coming up
Yeah.
down the road here.
Again, Valentino, that long, lean frame. Narrow shoulders are really good as well. Small frontal area. Now, another one of our youngsters, 18 years old, Yaroslav Lavrenyuk, despite which this is his 13th World Cup start. Youth Olympic silver medalist in Pyeongchang 2024. He's got 9 races here in Europe Cup and Intercontinental Cup. Raced in the Junior World Championships here and in the World Cup. So lots and lots of time on this track. And when we go to Sigulda next week, that will be exactly the same.
Yeah, he looks good on the sled here. 94.
Again, with these young kids, you can imagine that in 5 or 6 years, like Vladislav, his older teammate, his body will have transformed totally to do this one thing better.
Absolutely. Yeah, so he's got good form on the sled for a young slider, and it's great to see the youth, that transition from the youth games to the World Cup, you know, heading into those Olympic games.
I'm trying to remember now, I think he made his World Cup debut before he actually went to the Youth Olympics. So, yeah, they were always bringing him in. 19th best speed, so he might overhaul Lucas de Faye at the line. Doesn't quite, 52.32.
So he'll be right there on the bubble for that second run.
Yeah, what did he do in 25th in Cortina?
So he was right there on
made the second
made the
cut.
second
Yeah,
heat.
exactly so.
Yeah, you can see him coming off here. Little toe tap to stay away from the wall. Yeah, he's steering it into 13. And that's it. Yeah, a little bit of a skid as he came off there. But he just relaxes on the sled, lets it run.
So we're deep in the teenagers now, because this is 19-year-old Davis Valdovskis of Latvia. Raced here in the World Cup last year to 22nd place. He was 4th in the Youth Olympics in Pyeongchang.
487.
Yeah. So 700s quicker than Yaroslav Lavrenyuk. And these youngsters in the foothills of their career, they're racing each other. They're not out there, well, not normally out there racing Christopher Grotehair, the Olympic champion. At the moment, they literally are. 17th place from an 18th best start.
Yeah, so he's looking good here, down through the labyrinth into 10, into 11. Hovering right around that 21st spot. He's got 19th fastest speed.
The more sleds you can put behind you now, the bigger your comfort blanket. 18th best speed. Is he going to climb into the top 20 at the line? Not quite. So 52.21 for Davis Valdovskis. He was actually in there. Before you go to Youth Olympics, they have a series of qualifying races. He was the winner of the qualifying race here in Lillehammer. So he's got good memories of this track. And again, another long, rangy athlete, isn't he?
Yeah, and it's, you know, it's basically right across the pond here for the Latvians to come over to Norway and slide here. So it's a good track for them to get on.
So 23 sleds down, 10 to 11 to go. As we get to Florinau of Austria, tied for 19th place with Austin Florin in Cortina. The 31-year-old became a dad during the summer. So all sorts going on.
Keeping him busy.
Yep. Didn't race here in last year's World Cup, was 18th 2 years ago. Lots of Europe Cup experience, though, as a younger slider.
492. Even out of that right groove. So we'll see his speed here as he goes down through. So only a half-second back right now. See if he can maintain that. 12th fastest speed, so not bad.
This is classic Austrian sliding as well, isn't it? Building speed.
10th fastest. Well, he's got good sliding genes. His father was a world-class skeleton slider for Austria.
Older brother Alex retired from sliding, now coaches for Germany.
Yeah, that's a decent run right there.
It is, isn't it? So 492 at the start compared to the new record, which is 459. So he was giving away 3/10 at the start, and he comes down 6/10 away from the leader at the bottom.
And ahead of growth here.
Yeah.
By 1,300, so that's, again, a surprise.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of a rough transition there, 13, but he just relaxed and let it run.
12-13 is one of those transitions. It's 6-7 and 12-13 are the two real key ones, aren't they?
Absolutely. You can see right there, he let that sled settle and head down into 14.
Yeah. All right, so 25th slider for Poland, Władysław Poliwak, just 24 years old. 33rd and 28th are his two results here, but he's done a dozen races at the junior level in Europe Cup and the now defunct Intercontinental Cup and Junior Worlds. If you've had a race here and Władysław hasn't been in it, have you actually had a race? 5:05. So right there, he's at a speed deficit from the start.
Yeah, it's just going to be tough to get into the top 25 with a start that's in the 5-second range. He's already 7,500 back. He's got a few waves here through 6 into 7. But it's good to see Poland racing in skeleton. The more nations we can get into the sport of skeleton, the better. And it's a sport that's easy and somewhat cheap for the athletes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's having trouble through 12-13, just shows inexperience. But the experience will come with time. And trying to race on this World Cup is tough, yeah. So he's 25th place right now.
Yeah, for some of these young guys, it's like being on the qualifier circuit for the tennis majors. You know, you play on the qualifier circuit against your peers. What you don't have is the Sampras's and the Nadals of the world also playing in those tournaments.
Yeah,
they turn up for the big show. So you've got to focus on you and your performance versus what you did before.
Absolutely. You know, and with the change, with the elimination of the Intercontinental Cup, it's you come either from the North America's Cup, the Europa Cup, or the Asia Cup now into the World Cup. So it's a bigger jump for the athletes. But the World Cup is what all these athletes are attaining to achieve, racing against the best in the world.
And when they find a sponsor, there is TV coverage as well, and that all goes to help, doesn't it? Okay, so 25 sleds down. And Władysław Poliwak of Poland is on the bubble as Vincent Spuff comes out. Junior World Championship bronze medalist here 2 years ago. 14th in both the World Cups, so got every chance of making the field this time out, if that's not a commentator's curse.
And that's a good start for Vincent. A 487.
And again, his starting speed has come on leaps and bounds in the last couple of seasons.
And he's got that great skeleton form as he's heading down the track. See what he does here. 15th fastest speed, so he's building as he heads down the track. Good exit. 10th fastest speed, so he's maintained that half-second deficit, so he's doing really well. Nice and smooth there. 9th fastest speed, so he's really building that speed as he heads down the run. And 15th place.
Excellent. So he is in, and out is Władysław Poliwak. So Vincent Spuff doesn't actually bump out his younger brother Valentino, but Valentino is now on the bubble in 25th place, so may well not get a second heat.
Yeah. And that's another tie that we see, that 51-81 tied with Jisoo Kim.
And lots of ties on this track.
If not ties, they're
so it's in fact it's a three-way tie, isn't it? It's Kim Jisoo, Vincent Buff, and Florian Auer, all three tied. So we've got 2 3-way ties and a 2-way tie. Lucas Nidegger and Austin Florian right ahead of them.
Florian just came down.
So next up, USA's Dan Barefoot, a 35-year-old, 20th 2 years ago and 25th last year. So he's made the cup in both World Cups.
And this is a track Dan trains on early in the season. He usually tries to get over to Lillehammer, get that early ice. 79. So decent start by Dan.
We're just seeing Vincent Buff go into, what, 13th place, 15th place off of 487. So he's got 800s more in the tank.
So he's 16th, 17th place, hovering right around there. Let's see what Dan can do. A little late in the 7. You can see he's late off of 8. .4300s down. 13th fastest speed, though, so that's some decent speed by Dan.
Yep.
Ooh, little skid.
Yep.
Had to get his toe out. You can see the loss in speed. But he was building to that point.
Yep, that's going to haunt him all the way down to the line, but he is in 22nd place. 51.95, so no second heat then for Władysław Poliwak of Poland and for Valentino Buff of Switzerland. And Yaroslav Lavrenyuk of Ukraine is now on the bubble in 25th place. We've got 6 more sleds to go. Late height, the sled falls. Manages to contain it.
Yeah, you can see that early entrance into 13, pushes him flat, and then he gets high on the exit and just has that skid as he comes out. Tries to correct it with his toe, but just by that point, he already bled some of the speed.
There, you're trying to mitigate the loss, aren't you? So from one bearded slider to the next, Alexander Schlintner of Austria raced here in 2015 in the Youth Olympic qualifiers and raced in Europe Cup in 2017. The last 2 World Cups, he was 17th and 18th. So again, every opportunity to make this race.
A good load. 74, so he's in the mix.
And starting in that slider's right-hand groove, got a little bump but didn't get a skid, so keeps his speed on board. Top 12 start, he is getting quicker, isn't he?
Yeah, and he's maintaining right now, so we'll see if he can. Very good entrance in the 7, in the 8. He's only 2,500s down, 17th fastest speed. Down to 3/10. Not the speed we've seen out of the top sliders, but still remaining competitive. And that's a good exit right there.
Could be a top 15 run off 12th place at the start. And across the line, whoa, 19th place. That kind of went away fast down at the bottom. But Alexander Schlentner is in, and no second heat for Yaroslav Lavrenyuk. So we're eliminating some of our teenagers. On the bubble now is Davis Valdovskis of Latvia. But Schlintner should make the second heat from there.
Yeah, you can see right here, he's got a good exit of 13. Stays relaxed on the sled. Maybe take a little bit of a brush there. He did. You can see, took that brush into 14. Got pushed off the sled.
He's cursing himself. He's always his biggest critic.
Yeah, because he knows he had a good run all the way down to that 12-13 range area and then just lost that speed at the bottom.
With the leopard of the late, great Marco Simoncelli on his helmet, Giovanni Marchetti. His World Cup here last year, 16th place finish, remains his best in his rookie season. 27-year-old Italian has raced here 4 times as well in Europe Cup. 475, that's a decent start. And again, if you are inside 20th place from now on, you will make the second heat.
Yeah, so he looks good on the sled right here. 2/10 down, 14th fastest at this point. Good entrance in the 7. He lost a little bit through that 6, 7, 8 range. But only 3,600ths back.
Starting to claw back some speed as well.
Yeah, you can see that late entrance in the 13, push that height around the exit.
He's come from 17th on the splits and at the line, 15th, 51.75. That sounds familiar. Is that a tie? Not quite. No, not quite. He's in 15th place, a little bit of no man's land actually. He's 800ths behind the tie between Lucas Nidegger and Austin Florian, and he's 600ths ahead of the three-way tie with Florian Auer, Kim Ji-soo and Vincent Boof.
Yeah. Yeah, we only have a couple sliders in that 51.70 range, and we'll see right here. We got Nick Tucker coming up, the U.S.
Yep, so nice run for the Italian. Giovanni Marchetti makes the second heat, and out goes Davis Valdovskis. On the bubble now, Lucas Defaye, and when we saw his run, immediately sort of thought, oh, he's a 10th away from anybody. He could be in trouble. He could be in trouble. Got Nick Tucker and Amadeo Banyas, the next two, both of whom could easily make the cut.
481.
26th in Cortina, the season opener, Nick. He was 27th in last year's World Cup here. So he's going to be right on the bubble. Top 20 from a 19th best start.
So far he looks pretty good. Just not the speed that he's looking for.
So is he looking stable because he's gone for a conservative setup that gives him more control? The speed is improving as he's not skidding and hitting anything.
Yeah, he just is on his form. His head's just a little bit high, so he's kind of pressing a little bit. Yeah, 52.10.
Just outside. So he comes in 26th place. Lucas Defaye hangs on. 3 more sleds to go. Does the Frenchman get a second heat? I think the real danger for Defaye is the next sled.
Yeah.
So Nick, 27th.
So we see Nick
year.
heading into 13 here. It's just late. So you're having to steer harder right there and pushes that height all the way around the exit. So he's got to steer harder on the exit. And at that point, you're just scrubbing off the speed that you need to be fast at the bottom.
And you saw his legs spreading hard there to try and bring the sled back under control. Not what you need. So Amadeo Banyas didn't have a great start to the season in Cortina. 1 World Cup here. He wasn't racing last year. He went to train for the World Champs in Lake Placid. But his previous World Cup here, 25th place, 4.70. So he's actually only raced once on this track. Didn't race here as a junior.
So he looks good right now. He's got some good form. So he heads into 6. Good entrance in the 7. He's only 1,500ths back at this point, 9th fastest speed. So if he continues at this clip, he's got good form, 8th fastest speed.
And that's not bad. 31st sled down. It shows there is still some speed to be found in the track.
A little bit of a skid there. You can see the drop in speed.
8th across the line. Excellent run from Amadeo Banyas.
Yeah, Italians have to be happy with that.
Yeah.
Willie Schneider looked happy to be in the mix as they head into the second run.
Especially when he's 31st in the draw, having had a pretty rotten time in Cortina. Cortina in November is not what they're focusing on. Cortina in February, that's the key.
Absolutely.
But you do want to leave the Olympic track with a bit of confidence.
But the Italian team will have extra training time on the track as they prepare for the games, and I'm sure that they'll bode them well as they head into February.
I think Christopher Groothair will get a second heat, but not by much. Dan Barefoot is on the bubble in 25th. Groothair is 24th. They are 100th apart. But it takes both Yuri van Kupperveld in the Netherlands and Timon Dranovski to have out of their skin slides. Yuri raced here last year, 33rd in the field of 37, but he was, 29th in Cortina, so it's unlikely. 486 to start.
Well, so far he looks pretty good on the sled, but that deficit at the start is just coming back now.
There's a little bit somewhere when you're coaching where you want your slider to have the best run he can. So you want to set the sled up to be as quick as it possibly can be, except he's got to be able to drive it. So you actually have to sort of mitigate that and make it more comfortable for the slider.
Absolutely. And he's just made a few driving errors down through the 10, 11, 12 area. He's laid into the finish corner.
Confidence.
52.89.
Confidence is absolutely critical for these young sliders. If they don't feel that they can get down, then it's going to be really tough. So 31st, and that means that Dan Barefoot hangs on. One more sled. I think Barefoot will get a second heat. Timon Dranovski of Czechia is next up, 34th here last year.
Yeah, I can see here, just late. See him brushing the wall. Just some small mistakes all the way down the run, and it just cost him speed all the way down. Taps his toe.
And like with everything, it's timing that is the difference between really being fast and being slow.
And being relaxed on the sled, keeping those aerodynamics. You know, minimizing the side-to-side skids.
So final slider in the first heat, World Cup number 2 of men's skeleton, Timon Dranovski of Czechia, just 22 years of age. He was 24th here 2 years ago, so he has got the potential to make the cut. 5:02.
Yeah, he's already starting to overdrive down into 3.
And again, in that right-hand groove that the athletes start in, he got kicked sideways.
Yeah, he's working hard, 5 to 6. Yeah, just not as smooth as he's probably late down into 9 and 10. You see all the school kids there waiting.
Loads of kids here again today.
Takes that tap out of 13.
They're loving the speed. 53.11 across the line, Timon Dranovski. So he will end up in 32nd place ahead of Władysław Poliwak of Poland. And that does mean that Dan Barefoot of the USA in 25th will go through for the second heat. And Christopher Groothair in 24th by, what was it, 700ths of a second that Lucas Defaye was behind him. That's literally the blink of a human eye. That's not much of a margin for error.
Yeah, it's crazy to see Christopher so far back, but again, this is the World Championship track for next season, 2027. So a lot of these athletes are preparing for those World Championships as well as the Olympic Games.
Yeah, and the track are as well. Another fun opening ceremony. Can't wait to see what they've got planned for next year. So our first heat leader is one of the fastest starters, Matt Weston of Great Britain. Hasn't had a medal on this track, one of the few that he has not had a medal on. So leads after the first of our 2 heats from a 3-way tie for silver. And that is the first of 3 sets of dead heats down the field.
Very nice. Hi everyone back at home, love you all.
I think he was quite surprised when Martins Ducors told him what his start was, a 4:65. So look at this. So Western, 1100s ahead of a 3-way tie. 300s behind them is Axel Jung, so he's in that battle. And then look at Rasmus Johansson, 100th ahead of the dead heat between Wyatt and Banyas. So that's basically a 3-way battle. Kaisinger and Chen are in that as well. A tie, didn't spot that, for 12th. And then another tie for 14th. If you're not in a tie, have you really tried hard?
No.
A 3-way tie for 17th,
Yep.
and then 25th, Dan Barefoot. Christopher Grotehair makes it in by the skin of his teeth.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting second heat here.
Isn't it, though? So 25-1 they go in reverse order, and everybody who's 26 or below will have to watch from the trackside with the kids and the barbecue and the sweeties and all the other stuff that's going on down there. You can enjoy the second heat with me and Tuffy Latour. We'll be back at 10:45 local. That's 09:45 GMT. And that's the almost positively early time of 04:45 Eastern. We'll see you then in 35 minutes. Bye for now.
I love this track, it's very nice. Hi everyone back at home, love you all.